Okay, the next topic is modules. Okay, the next topic, that is the modules, that we are supposed to perform the modules. So what exactly the modules are? Okay, if I define a module, it's mean it is grouping of, okay, it's a grouping of variables, you can say the functions, okay, you can say the even the classes, into a single file. Okay, into a single file, and that file is called module. That's it. This is the concept of the modules as well. So what is the meaning of this line is, let's suppose I am writing number of functions. Okay, I am writing number of functions. I'm writing number of functions and I am grouping them into a single file. That file is nothing, that is called module. That's it. Okay, that file is called module. That's it. So what exactly meaning of this? Earlier that we use predefined modules. Okay, predefined modules. Now we are supposed to create our own modules. That means we are supposed to design our own module. So now let me understand this concept conceptually first, then we will move to the practical. So what I am doing over here, just imagine this scenario. I am making my file. It is nothing, just like the same procedure that we follow till now. So here I am making a function def of add. Okay, and then we are supposed to write the some logic, what exactly logic that you want to write. Okay, and let's suppose the name of this one is Nitin Math. That's it. Okay, Nitin Math, you can say Nitin Math.py. That's it. This one is my file which contain my own function, and I give the name to this file. Normally whatever we did, that is the Nitin Math.py. Now what I want, understand this concept. I want these modules, okay, note these module, I want these function into another file. Okay, let's suppose this file is bhupinder.py. Okay, in bhupinder.py I need all these functions. Let's suppose there are 10 to 20 different functions, and I want all these function into here. Okay, into here. So this concept is called, this is called nothing, this is called modules. That's it. This is the concept of the module. That means I am combining the number of function variables into a single unit, and that unit I am importing some another Python program. Okay, so this concept is called module. So how I can import? Just simply say import Nitin Math. That's it. Okay, import Nitin Math. That's it. So this concept is called module. Let me show you the practical, then you guys will get the more clarity. So I think you guys clear the conceptual view, what exactly that I am supposed to do. I am just writing the number of function in the same file, in a single file, and that file I am calling somewhere another file. Okay, so now I will show you, then you guys will get more clarity about this concept. So here I am making a text file, and in this text file I am writing a very simple code. Let's suppose this is my function def of add. Okay, and it's take two variable a comma b. Okay, so here I am just printing it. Okay, I am just printing it a plus b. That's it. Very simple function that I made inside this file, and I am saving this file, save as, okay, Nitin Math.py. That's it. Okay, so here understand this concept. Now this one become a module. So let's suppose I am opening once more, and let me add some more functions as well into here. Okay, my system is getting very slow today. Okay, so let me write one more, the function over here. Okay, let me write the divide as well, or you can say the multiplication as well. Okay, and it is returning me a into b. That's it. Okay, I am saving it. That's it. This file is called nitinmath.py. Okay, I am making one more file. Understand this concept. I am making one more file where I am importing this file. Okay, where I am importing this file. So how I can import? I know very well. Import Nitin Math. Okay, so in this file, automatically whatever I write over here, okay, whatever I write over here, let's suppose these two functions which are available into this Nitin Math.py, I import the entire file over here. Okay, so rather than importing this complete name, I am assigning a nickname. Okay, nm. So this is the one way. I will show you all the possible way how you can import a single file into your program. Okay, so this one is the one way. Rather than to write the entire name, I don't want to write again Nitin Math. I just assigning a simple name, that is the nm. Okay, as nm. So now this entire thing will be treated, or this entire thing will be act. Okay, and you can say this entire thing will be called with the name of this nm. That's it. Very simple terminology. Rather than to call Nitin Verma, I just assign a nickname, that is the NV. Okay, NV is pointing to over here. Okay, in this case the Nitin Math, and I assign a nickname, that is the NM. Okay, now, so in this file, if I open this file, here two functions are there. The one is the add and the second one is the MUL. Now how I can import these two into this program? Very simple. And these two functions which take two parameters, a and b. Okay, so let me call nm dot add. Okay, add, and I pass these two values 10, 20. That's it. Now I am saving it. As test.py. Okay, so let me execute it. cmd. Okay, let me execute it. cmd py space test.py. Okay, so now you will check, you will get the output. Okay, the output of that function which I didn't define inside here. Okay, where my function is coming from this file, and this file is called module. That's it, nothing the special concept. This file is called module. Keep this point into your mind. Okay, this file is called module. Module basically the group of function, group of variables and group of classes combined together into a single unit, and that unit is called modules. Okay, so now one more terminology is there. Number of module. Okay, number of module combined together into a single folder. Okay, into a single folder. That folder become the library. Okay, that folder become the library. Number of similar folders. Okay, number of similar folders combined together. Okay, combined together into a single folder. Okay, number of similar folder, that is combined together into a single folder, and that folder become the package. That's it. This is the funda only, nothing special. So now keep this point into the mind. If I say these individual files, these files are modules. Okay, I combine these individual files into a single unit, and that basically into a folder, and I assign a name to that folder. Let's suppose calculator. Okay, calculator. So here this is the file, the simple functions.py. This one another file, complex function.py. This one another file, scientific function.py. And I combine all these, the different files into a single folder. That folder become the, and assign a name to that folder, calculator. Now this folder become the library. Okay, now this folder become the library. So here when I do the same activity, let's suppose this is the another calculator. Let's suppose the calculator 2, or you can say the another calculator for satellite calculations. Okay, here the one file, here the two file, here the three file. I combine all these libraries, all these folders into a single folder, and that folder become the package. Okay, that folder become the package. This is the concept of the library, packages and modules. Okay, so if I say now this miscellaneous, okay, MISC is a library. Okay, is a library which contain let me correct myself, it's a library or a package. Just wait for a second, let me correct myself. It's a library or a package. Let me correct, just give me a second. Okay, sorry, let me correct myself. Okay, here the terminology is same. Okay, this is called package. Okay, this is called package, and this entire, the outer folder, okay, this outer folder is called library. That's it. Sorry, kindly correct this self. Okay, this one is called library. Okay, so what is package? Now this MISC is a package because it contains this one. Okay, it contains this one. Okay, it contains this one. Same, the similar folders I put into a single folder. So that folder is called library. Okay, these folders are called packages, and here these are called modules. That's it. This is the terminology behind that. So now don't get confused for the same. If the people are saying packages, that's me. A folder which contains the number of modules. Okay, that is called package. Okay, and the library, when the multiple packages combine together into a single folder, that folder becomes the library. Because whenever you are supposed to design it for, you know, the application or a product based anything that the application or your project, in your project there are libraries. In library there are different packages. Okay, in packages, okay, there are different modules. For example, this package is the connection package. Who is responsible for make the connection? Okay, make the connection with the database. Let's suppose here the module 1 which is responsible to make the connection with RDBMS. Okay, here the module 2 which is responsible to make the connection with cloud. Okay, cloud databases. And this one is another module which is responsible to create a connection with the Hadoop, or another module which is responsible to create a connection with the Oracle. Okay, so these I combine all these into a single unit, and that unit I assign a name to the folder, that is the connection. Now this connection become a package. Here inside different modules are there. Similar here, let's suppose this one the account. Okay, this one is the account. Okay, this one my Indian customers. Okay, these are my, you know, the USA customers. Okay, these are my Ireland customers, and so on. And I combine them all the packages into a single unit, and that unit is called library. Let's suppose I'm saying it. This is the application for online shopping. That's it. Okay, so this one will become the app. This become the library. Similar, multiple libraries can be there into the product. Okay, multiple packages can be there, multiple modules can be there. So now the terminology is this one. Okay, so I think now you guys are clear with the concept, what exactly the role of this one, because this one is a file. Okay, this one is a file which is available, the entire code is available over here into the Nitin Math, and I call this code, okay, I call this code over here, the entire file I call over here. So by default automatically these are imported over here. So this is the way how I can import, with the help of this import. Now what are the various possibilities to import the modules inside my this particular file, whichever file that I'm using. So let's suppose if you want to import the package, so my package name is MISC. Okay, inside my MISC, because this is the folder name MISC, what exactly inside this? Inside this is the module. Okay, so this is another way. Inside library, from the library, let's suppose my library is calculator. Okay, my library is calculator. Inside calculator there is a folder, and that folder name is called MISC. MISC will be technically called as a, you know, the package. Inside that package, this one is the module that I'm calling, and I'm assigning a nickname NM to this particular module. Rather than to write again Nitin Math, why should I waste my time to write the complete name? I just give a simple name, that is the NM. Okay, so this one is the terminology. Now understand the various possibilities how you can import the this function or modules inside your program. Okay, so let me show you. If I simply use import Nitin Math, so here I am supposed to write Nitin Math, okay, the complete name, but I don't want to write complete name. That's why I give a nickname, that is NM. That's it. Okay, that is NM. So now I am writing over here NM. This is the one way by which you can import this into the this file. Okay, so now another way, what is the another possibility? Okay, so let's suppose there are multiple modules. Okay, there are multiple modules, and I want to import all module into a single line. So here import, let's suppose the module 1, okay, and I want to import also module 2, module 3, module 4, module 5, module 6 and so on. How many modules that you can import with a comma separation? Okay, this is the another possibility. Choice is again your, in which field you are comfortable, you can go with this. Okay, let's suppose another way. So here let's suppose the module name is module 1. Okay, but I don't want to write complete name whenever I am calling the methods, or I am calling the function which are associated with it. So here I am saying module 1 as M1, okay, nickname, module 2 as M2, okay, and so on. This is another possibility. One I show you with the giving the nickname, another I am writing over here. So import, let's suppose M1 is there, M2 is there, or you can say the module 1 is there. Okay, module 1 is there, module 2 is there, okay, module 3 is there, and something like this. Okay, so this one is the another way. Okay, there is one more possibility how you can import another way. So let's suppose for rather than, okay, to rather than, here what exactly happen when I import this Nitin Math as NM, all the all the function which are available here, let's suppose here the thousands of function, every function is loaded over here. Okay, every function is loaded over there, but I don't require all. Keep this point into the mind. I required only this add. I need only this add. I don't want this multiplication. Okay, but here the add and the multiplication both are loaded over here. Okay, unnecessarily the load is increased. Obvious, all the data whenever loaded over here, obvious my file become little heavy. Okay, so I don't want. I want only add function. That's it. I don't want anything else. So now how I can use it? Okay, understand this point. From, okay, from Nitin module, okay, from Nitin module, sorry, Nitin Math, from Nitin Math, import add only. That's it. Now this add is imported over here. So now I don't need to do, okay, so I don't need to, now understand it. So here I am commenting all this. So now I don't need to use over here nm. I can directly call this add, because this add I specifically imported this add over here. Okay, so I don't need to nm dot this one. I can use simply add. Okay, it will work fine. Let me show you. Okay, so it is working fine. Okay, there is no error. I don't want add name. Okay, I don't want add name. I can assign another name, that is the A1. Okay, A1. Now here I am supposed to use A1. That's it. Okay, so this is another way. Now choice is again your, in which way you are feeling comfortable, you can do the same thing. Okay, so another way, let's suppose I want add and I want MUL. I want only these two. So here very simple. Now you are supposed to do add of 10, 20, okay, and MUL 5, okay, 4, 6. That's it. So these two I imported from this module. Okay, so now you can check everything is working fine. Okay, this is one way. Another way, there is one more way. Okay, so here I am doing from Nitin Math. Okay, I am writing once more from Nitin Math, Control C, Control V, import star. Now what is the meaning of star? That's mean I am importing all. How many? How many? All are imported over here. Okay, so here you are supposed to use add and mul like this. Okay, add and mul like this. So these are the possible ways by which you can import. Okay, which you can create your own module. Okay, you can create your own module and you can call the data or method or variables or classes inside your working module or working file with these possible way. Earlier we see this kind of things n number of time. Okay, so now I show you all the possible way by which you can import these, you can import these methods. Okay, these function, or you can say the method, or you can say the class. Even classes can be come over here. Okay, so you can import all. So this one is the concept of the module. Okay, so there is one more thing. Now understand it. So let me close these two as well. Okay, so observe my scenario here. This one is the test, this one is the Nitin Math. Okay, so it's again a normal Python code. You can check, it's a normal Python code. Okay, here if I open this, it's again a normal Python code. So there is no difference. There is no difference between these two. both will be treated as a normal Python code. Okay, both are treating as a normal Python code. Now understand it. I want to run only this file. Observe this scenario. I want to run only this file. Okay, so here let's suppose I am calling this add, okay, add 10,20. Okay, so it's a normal file. Don't forget about, for this point of time, just forget about this concept. Okay, so this one is a normal Python file. So I am calling this function. I am calling here. I declare the function. I declare the function. Here I call the function. That's it. I normally did so many times this concept. So now I am showing you. Now I'm showing you a running mechanism of this one. Okay, so Nitin math. Okay, now you can get the output exactly same. Okay, that is 30. Now I'm changing some. Okay, so this one, now you are getting 120. Perfect, good. So now understand my concept. Please listen very carefully. So here this function I call over here. Okay, this function I call over here, and whenever I am executing this file, automatically this is calling, and this concept is implemented. Okay, now understand my point. Now what I am doing over here, I am calling this file over here. Okay, and I am calling these two function. Okay, I am calling these two function. Now what is happening? Understand my point. When I calling this test file, okay, I am executing this test file, automatically 120 is coming. Why so? Why so? Because this function is called, okay, this function is called inside this module. Whenever this module is imported over here, automatically this calling is also imported. So let's suppose there are thousands of functions. Okay, I call thousands of function over here. Automatically the output will be appear prior to these two outputs. I think the conceptual view is clear to everyone. If not, I am repeating once again what I did. Understand this point. This is very important point. You may face this difficulty and number of time. Okay, I am showing you after this step. Okay, so I am repeating the entire scenario once again. Please listen carefully. So this one is a one function. This one is another two function. Okay, this one is my module, or you can say the Python file where I write these two function, and I call this function inside this one. Okay, whenever I am executing it, everything is fine. Everything is fine. It will giving me 120. That's it. I need it because I call this function over here inside this file. Now when I imported this one over here, okay, when I imported this one over here, first it is executing this one. Okay, first it is executing this one, and after that it is executing this one. So now what output I am getting? I am getting 120, and after that I am getting 30. After that I am getting 24. Okay, so this output I am getting. Now imagine this scenario. There are 100 functions, and every 100 function is called over here. Okay, so what will be happen? Prior to implement these two steps, it will first display on the screen the 100 outputs, then it will show you your own output. Okay, so this one is this scenario. This one is this scenario. Now what I want, listen carefully. What I want when I am calling this one, okay, when I am calling this one, at that time this should be executed. Okay, it should be executed. When I am importing over here, okay, when I am importing over here, at that time this should not be implemented. So this is my problem statement. Okay, so if you have any doubt till now, please ask me before proceed further, because this one is the base to understand the next concept. Okay, so please ask me if you have any doubt for the same. Please do let me know prior to proceed further. Definitely sir. सर प्रायोरिटी हमेशा पहले लोकल को जाती है, ऑलवेज. So you are importing over here. Okay, let me take your doubt first, then I will come back to this. So let's suppose there is one library, import. Okay, import. I imported this one, add, let's suppose m1, or you can say the library 1 dot, inside this there is a package. Okay, the package 1 p1 dot, and there is a function add. Okay, so this one is the one. another one. Okay, another one. Here the library 2, okay, P2, and this one again add. I think your question is this one. Okay, so at that time what is happening, sir? This statement will be overridden with this one. Okay, so what you can do, you can as L add, okay, L add, or you can say L1 add 1, something like this. Okay, you can say L2 add, you can import it something like this. Okay, so here this situation can be handled this like this. Okay, L2 add, L1 add. So here now you clearly observe it. This one is the L1 add, this one is the, otherwise it will give the priority to this one, because this line is executed after this one and it will override this one to this one. Okay, so everything will be executed, sir. Everything, whatever I write over here, let's suppose I print over here. Okay, I print over here. Okay, this one. So everything will be implemented. Whatever I writing over here, everything will be implemented. So now you can check. Okay, let me take your doubt as well. So let me show you. Okay, everything will be implemented first, because this one is a normal trend, normal scenario, normal Python thing. Whatever we do n number of time, I want after implementing this one, it should be implemented this one. That's it. So just treating it as a like a normal code, whatever you do till now, till date. So this one is the entire step. Now what is happening? Whenever I am calling this one, first it is executing this one, because I call these things over here. So after calling these two things, then it will come back to this point. Okay, so everything whatever you implemented over here, that should be implemented if you follow this way. But I want to restrict it. I want, understand this point, I want this thing only implemented when I call this one. Okay, and when I call this one, okay, when I call this test one, or you can say this test, at that time I don't want to implement these two things. Okay, I don't want to implement these two things. So this is my problem statement that I want to implement, because this is the common scenario n number of time is happening inside the industry, that why I am writing again and again and again. If everything I written down over here, why should not call it as a module over here? Okay, so this is general practice, normal practice. But the thing is that when I want to implement it, this I want only at that time this should be implemented, otherwise it should not be implemented whenever I am not calling it directly. You can consider this point like this. When you are calling this module directly, okay, now the picture will very easy to understand. When I am calling this thing directly, at that time I want this should be implemented, whatever I write over here. Okay, but when I am calling this indirectly mean that I am first calling over here, then after that I am calling all the method or function whatever available over here. So I want whenever I am calling this function, this Python file indirectly, at that time whatever written over here, that should not be implemented. Okay, so this one is my problem statement. I think now the picture is clear to everyone, because this yes नहीं sir, नहीं. Understand my point once again, because this one is little tricky concept. 90% student get confused over here. Okay, so understand, observe carefully. So forget this point for this point of time. Okay, forget all these things. Now this one is your normal code. You define two function. You call this function, and after that you simply just write a statement over here. Bye. Okay, that's it. Now it make more sense. So you simply do it. Okay, now you call this function. After implementing each and everything, it is saying okay, bye. So this is normal trend, normal process. Till date we did it n number of time. I think there is no problem. Okay, I think this concept is clear now. This is very simple scenario that we done n number of time over here. Okay, so this one is calling this method, this function is calling inside this file. This function is calling inside this file because I call over here, I define over here, I call over here, that's it. Okay, after executing it, I am simply saying a very simple statement, okay, bye bye, see you, tata, whatever that you want to display, you can display. But now the concept is little different. Now I am calling this entire thing, because I am calling the entire steps over here. Okay, over here, that is indirectly, no directly. Indirectly mean that I am importing this one. I import this one. Okay, I import this one over here. Now what is happening? The entire whatever inside this file, because I am importing all. Okay, I am importing all. So whatever inside this file, that is imported over here. Okay, that one is imported over here. So now my compiler will, what my interpreter will do? My interpreter will execute all these things because I imported all. Okay, all these things. After importing all these things, first it will say, okay, I am calling over here, I have to print this thing and I have to print this thing. Then I am supposed to move over here. Okay, and after that I am supposed to take these two steps, whatever I define over here. So these things are implemented whenever I am calling this thing indirectly. These two things are implemented. But my question is, I don't want to implement. Okay, I want to restrict something. I want only at that time when I am calling this file, my set of statements, whatever statement that I am gonna to write, even it can be 5, it can be 5,000, it can be 20,000. Okay, that doesn't matter. So what I want only, let's suppose these are my 10 statements. I want these statements should be executed only when I am directly calling this module. Okay, I am calling this file, you can say. That is my problem statement. I want to execute these lines only when I am directly calling it. I don't want to execute these lines when it is calling indirectly. So how I can restrict it? Now I am showing you the code for the same, how you can handle this situation. Okay, very simple way. If underscore name double equals to underscore main, okay, underscore. When this condition is true, at that time you are supposed to implement it. Okay, you are supposed to implement this. So I am calling this function n number of times, that doesn't matter. Okay, that doesn't matter. Okay, so here I am saying print bye bye. Okay, bye bye. I am saying it bye bye. Okay, so understand this point. So these, now with the help of this if condition, okay, I will come back to later on this point, what is actually this if and what is it contain. So now just understand the concept. If this condition is true, okay, at that time this statement would be executed. Now the question is, sir, at what time this condition is true? Okay, so Python automatically assigns some special names, okay, some special name when the program is executing. Okay, it automatically assigns some special names, or these are the special keywords. Okay, these are the special variables that you can say. Underscore name underscore. Okay, so here I am marking a condition. If this name is equal to underscore main underscore. When this condition is true, at that time you are supposed to execute these lines. Now the question is, sir, when this condition will be true? This condition will be true if you are directly calling it. Whenever you are directly calling any module or any file in backend scenario, the name automatically created, it's a variable that automatically created, and inside this variable the value assign underscore main. That's mean it is calling as a main program. Okay, so whenever this function is calling directly, that's mean it's calling directly and it's a main program. Whenever it's calling it directly, at that time this variable get a value that is underscore main. Okay, so that's mean I am calling it as a main program. Okay, I'm calling it as a main program. And when this program, okay, when this program is calling, okay, when this program is calling indirectly, at that time it takes some different value. Exactly, I don't know what exactly that value is. We will check it out. Okay, at that time it contains this name keyword, or you can say the name variable, which contain the different value, and this condition become false. When this condition become false, at that time this statement won't be executed. Okay, so this one is the entire picture for the same. Now if you want to restrict, whenever, now if I simply explain this point into a single or two lines, so it's mean whenever I am calling this, you know, this file directly, okay, as a main program, okay, as a main program, at that time this condition will become true. And when this condition will become true, automatically whatever I executed over here, okay, it can be 10 lines, it can be 10,000 lines, that will be implemented. And when it is calling indirectly, at that time this variable contains some different value, and when it contains some different value, that means its condition is a false and it won't execute these values. Okay, so let me show you the entire step, then I will come back to your questions. Okay, so these are two my files. One is this one, another one is this one. Okay, this one is a one file, and this one is another file. Okay, understand this point carefully, then I will come back to. Okay, so here now this is my file which contain the different function. Here this one is a test file which I am calling indirectly. When I am calling indirectly, that's mean it should not be executed. That's mean you won't get the output on the screen 30, and then it can be whatever 412, and then bye bye. Okay, it should not be print over here. Now I am executing test. So let me save this. I didn't save it. Let me save it again. Let me save it, and now I am executing it. Okay, so now you can check. You can check when I call indirectly, that means I am calling this one indirectly. At this point of time, this variable doesn't contain this value, and if it doesn't contain this value, that means it won't executing it. Now I am directly calling it. Okay, now I am directly calling it. That is nitin.math. Now you will get 30, 412, and bye bye. Okay, so if you have doubt, now I am printing what exactly this contain. Okay, what exactly this variable contain. These are the special variables. Okay, and these are useful when you are implementing the concept of the polymorphism inside Python. Okay, that is the advanced part. Okay, so let me explain this point. Now I want to check it out when I am directly calling it. So I want to check it out what exactly this variable contains. So I am printing the value, whatever the value inside this. Okay, so you can check. This is containing __ main. Okay, so that's means this condition become true, and when this condition become true, it is now implemented this one. So when I am calling indirectly, okay, so when I am calling indirectly, at that time this condition is false. Okay, this condition is false. So I want to check it out. So let me put this condition over here. Okay, let me put this condition over here. So now you will get the value when I am calling indirectly. So it is called, now it is calling indirectly. Indirectly mean now here this variable contain nitin.math, and here the nitin math. Okay, it's a nitin math. Here the nitin math, and this is not equal, so it is not implementing. Okay, it's not implementing. So now I think you get the clarity for this one. If you have any doubt, please let me know, because this is a little tricky concept. You might have faced this type of things n number of time when you copy the code from the internet. Okay, whenever you are copying the code from the function context of the functions from internet, 90% you get this line. Okay, 90% chances are there that you will get this line, but we are not sure about what exactly it mean. Now I think the picture is clear why 90% in every code you will get this line. Okay, 90%, or even you can say the 100% whenever you are developing a code into the production, at that time this line is mandatory. Okay, this line is implemented. So any question for this, you can ask me, please. Anyone having any doubt regarding this, please you can ask me before proceed further. Okay, no problem. I explain once more time, don't worry. And anyone having any doubt, please ask me. Another doubt? Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. 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 I got. Yeah, please. Yes, yes. Mm-hmm. Definitely. Definitely, sir. Definitely. Yes. Sir, yeah, automatically. The Python automatically define it. Yes, 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 yes. Python automatically defines some special variables for the same. If you want to, no sir, it will work whenever you are indirectly calling it. 1 second. So here, and it will work. It will work. Indirectly calling, whenever you are calling indirectly, at that time it will work fine. Okay, it will work fine. So let me clear my spelling as well. Okay, so I am calling indirectly. Now this point of time it is working. It's working. So it will work because you change the condition. Its condition mean now this name variable contain this name. Yes, this name, and whenever. Okay. Okay. So this one. Now otherwise it will contain like this underscore main underscore. Okay. You want to check it out. All the special variable which are assigned over here, you can check out. I think with the help of dir of NITIN MATH. Okay, automatically the interpreter assigns some special variable whenever you are executing some for its own reference. Okay, so I am calling it Nitin Math. Okay, dir not working. It should work. dir Nitin Math print dir name Nitin Math is not defined. NITIN MATH everything is fine. Why it's not working? So it should work. I don't know why it's not working. I think we are doing some mistake somewhere. Name Nitin Math is not defined. I don't know why. Okay, so one second. Here it will not work. It will work over here. Okay, because I am importing this one. Okay, so it will work over here. Yes, it will work over here. So let me call this test. Here you are supposed to call first import Nitin Math. Okay, so now it will work. Now you will show automatically what the special variable generated by the Python itself. Now you can check. These are the special variables, the built-ins, cache, docs, file, okay, loader, the name. This one is the important one. Okay, but rest of the things are for the memory consumption. Okay, and this one is the doc string. If you want to assign some kind of doc string, okay, I will show you the uses of this as well. Okay, now you can check. This one is a package. Okay, the package name, what exactly the package name of for this one. So specification, and these are two functions. Now you can check it out, add and mul. Okay, so this return you the list of whatever the special variable contains defined automatically by the Python itself. Okay, so I will show you this doc as well. Let's suppose you define over here something like this. Okay, so for example this one become a doc string. Okay, so this is for add two numbers. Okay, this is for add two number. That's it. So I define over here a information message. So what exactly the role of this one? Okay, the role of this one, it is supposed to just like a, you can say the information message. Okay, what exactly the role of this function? This is for add two numbers. Okay, so this one is become a doc string. So I think there is a way to check out the doc value as well. I don't know it will work or not. So here dot underscore underscore, sorry, dot add dot underscore underscore doc underscore. I don't know it's work fine or not. Let me check it. Yes, now you can check it. This is for the add two numbers because I defined the doc string, okay, information string. Now I want to check it out what exactly this function is made for, because whenever you are writing a code into the production, at that time you describe each and everything. I already seen you n number of time this code. In the case of I think the map reduce code, when we discuss this concept about how the production code are written. So whenever you are writing a production code, these kind of things are, you can say, the information message. Okay, so now automatically understand it. Okay, this is the this function, you can say this function is for add two numbers. Okay, here this function is made for the multiplication, and let's suppose there are thousands of functions are there, and I want to check it out which function is made for which one. Okay, so what is the doc string for the same? So with the help of this one, now I want to check it out what exactly inside this Nitin math, and inside this add, what is the doc string. Okay, what is the doc string? If I define directly over here, so let's suppose I define over here a doc string. This is made for calculations. Okay, you can say the calculations. Okay, so this one is made for the calculations. Now I am checking out the this one. Let me. Okay. So now you can check. This is made for the calculations. So here I call the doc string, okay, the doc variable, and it is automatically generated on the backend. As I saw you earlier, the built-ins, the cache, okay, these are for the memories. This one is the doc, this one is the file loader, okay, the value for the loader, the name, the package specification, and you can say the add and mul. So let me copy as well what exactly inside this specification. Okay, I want to check it out, this specification for the same. So you can simply just pass over here, so you can check this specification. Okay, so I did some mistake, this one. Okay, so now you can check the module name Nitin, loader this one, okay, external sources, file loader, object this one, origin this one, that is the F, Python basic, my work, Ireland 2 batch, and so on. This one into the specification. Okay, you can check it out. Another one, you can check it out. You can do the R&D by your own. Okay, so automatically generated all these special variables. Now Bhupinder sir question is, sir, can you please explain this one? Okay, so I'm repeating the same concept. The name variable, which we already see n number of time, n number of time. This one is the name variable. And this variable contains the value similar like to this doc, which I already show you. Whatever the value that you define over here, automatically it will contain over here. Okay, so inside this name, what value will become? Okay, what value will become? Whenever I am executing this program, this variable will contain what value this variable will contain. If I am calling it directly mean I am loading it as a main program. Okay, I am calling this name py space Nitin math.py. At that time, this name will contain, okay, this name will contain this value, that is the main. Okay, so it's main, it is treating as a main program. It's treating as a main program. That's mean I am directly calling it. To understand this concept, how my Python will understand it, person call it directly or indirectly. This is the way. Inside Python, whenever you are calling any function, any file, backend, automatically this type of variable will generated, and this variable will contain the main if I am directly calling it. If I am indirectly calling it, that's mean I am calling through some another file. Okay, at that time this variable will contain some another information. What information? That is this name. Okay, this name. And now what I am saying, I am checking this variable. If this variable contain main, Now what exactly meaning of this? That's mean it is calling directly. If it is calling directly, that time I am supposed to execute these lines. Okay, what are these lines? These are calling of this function. Okay, these are calling of this function. But when this condition is not true, that's mean it is calling indirectly. And when it is calling indirectly, at that time, whatever calling function or whatever things I done over here, I am not supposed to execute them. Okay, I am not supposed to execute them. So this one is a funda. Okay, this one is a funda to understand the concept of this if name, if underscore name underscore is equal to underscore name. And in my first session, I already told you, you can define a variable something like this. Okay, underscore d underscore this one underscore d underscore d underscore. Okay, so you can define the variable something like this, and these are called the magic keywords. Okay, or you can say the magic variables as well. Okay, so these are called the magic variable. How mostly these are used whenever you're supposed to perform the concept of the polymorphism. Okay, so at that time these are implemented. Okay, so I think now the picture is clear to everyone, this concept, because this concept is n number of time you may face the problem over here. Now I think you won't face any problem because I elaborate this concept in great detail. And whenever you are copying the code from the internet, this thing you will definitely copy. So I think clear for everyone. Should we move further? Should we move further? Okay, thank you. So now the next concept is the random module. Okay, the important module, that is the random module. I think this is the part of the Microsoft exam as well. Random module, OS module, okay, and math module as well. Okay, so no, I think random is not a part of this one, Microsoft examination. Okay, so don't worry. Now working with math module. Okay, working with math module. So here let's suppose you want to implement sqrt. I will not explain it into the great detail because these are very simple things. So here what you are supposed to do, import math, okay, as m. So now let's suppose I want to implement m.sqrt. Okay, m.sqrt. You want to calculate the square root, you are supposed to pass the value over here. Let's suppose you want to calculate the square root of 8, or you can pass any number. Okay, so floor, okay, seal, so seal, you want to seal, log, sine, okay, log, sine, tan, cos, you want to implement all these things. So here the concept is that you are supposed to import this module, and that module is called math. You can assign some name. Sir, floor for the pointing value. Yeah, for pointing value. Okay, so you can do research by your own. I am not taking much time over there because these are very simple things. Okay, the import math module, you can check it out all the things, dir of math, all the function and all the whatever the function which are available over this math module, you can check it out over there. Okay, so I am not consuming much time over here, but please, I recommend you, this is the part of Microsoft examination as well, because you are supposed to get 1 or 2 questions from this math module, probably on floor and seal. Kindly do research by your own. Okay, so the next module is the predefined module. That module is called random. The random module, important module. The random specify itself the random values. Let's suppose I want to generate some random values. Okay, so for example, this one is a module, and I am supposed to import that module as well. So here, very simple, import random. Okay, now you know very well as rm. Okay, so I am giving a nickname to it rather than to write again random. I am just simply saying as random, or another way, from random you can so say import asterisk sign. It's mean automatically whatever the function available, automatically they are assigned inside your own code. So you don't need to use rm dot or something like this. Choice is again here, and I already discussed this concept. Now understand this point. Let's suppose I am going with the help of this way. So here the first is rm dot random. Okay, rm dot random. So it is generating a random value. Okay, it is generating a random value, and the value from which range, that is the important one. If I'm saying rm dot random, it's mean it is generating the value between 0 and 1. Between 0 and 1. Keep this point into the mind. The value automatically it will generate the value from between 0 and 1. It will not consider 0. It will not consider 1. It will generate value something like this. 0.623224, something, any random value. Even I don't know what exactly the value it will generate, but the value will be between 0 and 1, because sometime your requirement is this one, that you are supposed to generate the random values automatically between 0 and 1. The 1 and 0 is not inclusive. Okay, it's not inclusive, so it will never generate a value 1, it will never generate a value 0. Okay, so keep this point into the mind. This is the one function. Okay, the second function inside this random module, that is rand, it's a rm dot rand int. Okay, rand int. Now name specify itself. What exactly mean is, it is generating the value of integer on what range, whatever range I define over here. Let's suppose I define here range 1 or 100. So it is supposed to generate the value within, okay, not between, within 1 and 100. What is exactly meaning of? It can generate 1 as well, it can generate 100 as well, or any random value. Might be 98, might be 7, might be 8, might be 20, might be 60, whatever value, might be 80. Okay, so rand int, that's mean I want only generate the value on this range, okay, from 1 to 100, that's it. And 1 and 100 is inclusive over there. Okay, so now the third point, the third the function which is available over here, rm dot uniform. Okay, uniform. Now uniform mean it is generating the value between let's suppose 1 and 100. Now what value it is supposed to generate? It is supposed to generate the value in the points. Might be it can generate 1 2 3 4 5, okay, 2 point something, 99 point something, okay, 10 point something, 11 point something, 12 point something, but it will not include 1 and 100. Okay, it will not include 1 and 100. Keep this point into the mind. Okay, so it will generate a uniform values. What is the meaning of the uniform values? That the point values. Okay, from between 1 and 100, it will not consider 1, it will not consider 100. Okay, so this one is another method. Okay, another function that you can say. Now the fourth one is rand range. Okay, rm dot rand range. Okay, rand, R-A-N-G-E, rand range. Okay, here I am supposed to define the starting step, okay, starting step, end step, okay, and stepping. On what step that you are supposed to take, okay, the starting step and the one end step. So it is supposed to generate the taking the step of 2. For example, it generate 1. Okay, it generate 1. Now it will not consider 2. Okay, it will take always the step of 2. For example, 1 3. Okay, after that it is generating, let's suppose 9. Okay, whatever, but it will take the steps of 2. Okay, with the help of this range. That's mean I am specifying return a random number from range within this step. So this parameter will be considered as a step. Stepping is optional. Again, the stepping is optional. If you don't want to pass step, don't worry. Okay, you can simply close over here, and by default that value will become 1. Okay, if you want to specify some another number, then the value will become 3. Okay, or even you can pass 4. Okay, and the last one is choice. Okay, choice, rm dot choice. Now what is the meaning of this? Okay, choice of L. Now understand this point. Here the set of people, okay, the set of people, let's suppose Ram, okay, let's suppose Sham, okay, let's suppose Mohan, okay, let's suppose Sohan, okay, and Rani, and so many people are there. I want to check it, I want to select only one pupil. Okay, only one pupil from this entire value. So how I can find it out? Rm dot choice of L. That's it. It randomly pick any of the one student. Okay, it will randomly pick any of the one student. So these are the method which are associated with the you can say the random module, and very important module. Sometimes it's play very important role. I will show you all the practical things, then I will come back to you for taking your questions. Okay, so what I am doing now, I'm closing it, or you can say I'm making the comment to the entire. Okay, so comment, this one is the way to make the comment. Comment means it won't execute. Okay, if you want to make a multi-line comment, here start your string with triple double quotes and your string with triple double quotes. Okay, so now again it will be it can be considered as your doc string as well. Okay, so understand this point. Import import random as rm. Very simple. Okay, rather than to do over here, I am showing over here. That would be the good approach. Import random. Okay, so I am importing this random as well now, or you can say assign the nickname as rm. Okay, so rm dot rand, or you can say random. Very simple, random. Okay, so automatically it is generating this number, and I already told you it won't consider 1 and it won't consider 0. Between 0 and 1, what I can do, for I in range of, let's suppose 5, because I need 5 random numbers. Okay, so here I am printing it. Now you can check, it generate the 5 random numbers, and all numbers are between 0 and 1. It not consider 0, it will not consider 1. Okay, so this one is the one way. Another was, let me open, import random as rm. Okay, so another was rand int. Okay, rand. So what I am doing, for I in range of, let's suppose 5, so I'm calling this function rm dot rand. Okay, rand int. So between 1 to, let's suppose 10. Okay, between 1 to 10, I want to generate 5 random numbers between 1 to 10. Okay, so you can check, it generate 8, 6, 6, 9, 8. Okay, it is not guaranteed that it always return you the unique value. Okay, because this is the algorithm behind this. It automatically pick it out these. It can check the similar numbers. Okay, it's not a hard and fast rule. It will always pick the, it will always pick the different values. Okay, so this point of time, now I show you this include, rand in include 1 and 5 as well. So it generate 1. Okay, it generate 5 as well. Okay, so this is the way. So in the another case, the another one, the rand, or you can say the uniform. Okay, rm dot uniform between 1 to 5. Now it is generating the random numbers in the points format from between 1 to 5, not include 1 and not include 5. Keep this point into the mind. Okay, so here another one, choice. Here the first is RAM. Okay, so here let's suppose Java. Okay, and another one is Python. Okay, another one is C++. Okay, another one is R. Okay, so I want to make a winner, or I can, I want to make a winner of 1. So what I am doing, rm dot choice. Okay, choice of L. So it automatically pick one value from entire this list. So what value it's picking, I don't know. Okay, module rand. Okay, ch OICE. Okay, choice. So here now you can check the C++ is winner. Okay, another one, again it pick it out C++. Now this time it pick the Python. Okay, again this time it's pick the Python, again this time C++, again Java. Okay, again Python, again R, and so on. So it's a very important module. Okay, so let's suppose I'm writing a code which is supposed to generate the OTP. Okay, and this should be the format for the same. Understand this point. So I want the first should be a character. Okay, the first should be a character, and another should be a string from 0 to 9 anything. Okay, from 0 to 9 anything. Let's suppose it randomly generate 9, and again the next should be string. Let's suppose it generate X, and another should be, let's suppose it generate 5. Okay, so let's suppose I want to generate an OTP into this format, and every time this OTP is unique for everyone. So how I can generate it? Okay, very simple. Anyone having any idea? If you want to generate the sequence of these numbers, okay, and randomly you want to generate it, so you don't know what will be the next. Okay, so let me write a code, very small code for the same. That is my problem statement. Okay, so understand this concept. So go back to your string concept. If I write CHR of 65, now what output I will get? I will get A. Okay, if I write CHR of 96, okay, sorry, I think the last value is 95. 65 plus 26, sorry, 91. Okay, 91. So last value, not 90, it's a 90. Okay, so last value is that. That's mean if I randomly generate the value between 65 to 90, okay, if I randomly generate the value between 65 to 90 and convert them into the CHR, so what it will become? I will get the value between A to Z. Okay, let's suppose it generates 66, so I convert that 66 into the B. Okay, so this is one funda. That's mean how I can generate the random values between 65 to 90, that I have rand int. Okay, I have rand int. And another, again you are supposed to use rand int. For second time you are supposed to generate that value between 0 to 9. That's it. That's it. And after that you are calling this thing 4 times, and you are supposed to concatenate them. So how you can do it? Understand this point. So inside this, x is equal to rm dot, okay, rm dot rand int. Okay, rm dot rand int, from where to where? 65 to 90, and I want to convert, I have to convert it into CHR. Okay, I converted it into the CHR. And what else that I am supposed to concatenate it? Here again you are supposed to copy it. Okay, copy it, and here you are supposed to concatenate it from where to where that you want to generate, from 0 to 9 anything. Okay, in another, what is the next sequence? Again you need it, just copy it. Okay, just copy it and paste it. And another value, what should be the another value? Okay, what should be the another value? Again Control C, okay, plus Control V. That's it. Now, okay, the must be it. Sorry, I did a mistake. What mistake I made? I have to again convert it into the CHR, or you can say the STR. Okay, for concatenating that you are supposed to convert it into the STR. Okay, so here again you are supposed to do the typecasting. Okay, you are supposed to do the typecasting. That's it. Okay, now you can check. This has been generated. Okay, so I am calling this thing. I am calling this thing 5 times. For I in the range of 5. Okay, so here I am calling this thing 5 times, and after that I am printing it. Now you can check 5 different OTPs. Okay, 5 different OTPs. So now you can get. The first is character. Okay, another one is your integer, and this and this. Now you are supposed to send this OTP to anyone. Okay, you are supposed to send this OTP to anyone. So this one is your random module. Okay, so okay, let me write one more code as well. So here these are the values. Okay, I am getting the random values. these are, let's suppose, the unique numbers. Okay, every ID that I am getting. Okay, so let's suppose I have 15 students. Okay, I have 15 students and I am supposed to pick it out 5 students. Okay, I am supposed to pick it out 5 students, and 5 students should be unique students, because whenever you are performing this choice, okay, let me implement, let's suppose if I simply do it for I in range of 5, okay, I in range of 5, and what I did, print of, okay, print of rm dot choice choice of your L. So it can generate the duplicate as well. Now you can check, 1 is selected 2 times. Okay, 1 is selecting 2 times, but my requirement is I need 5. Okay, I need 5 unique, you know, the unique students. I need 5 unique students. So I am supposed to perform these steps. Can you tell me how this is possible? Anyone please tell me how it is possible? I need 5 unique. Okay, so this time I got 1 2 times, but that is not my requirement. My requirement is I have to select 5 students only, then I will give you 1 assignment for the same. Okay, so what I am supposed to do, I am supposed to find it out 5 unique students from this entire data set. Let's suppose these are my 16 students, but I am supposed to select randomly 5 students and I don't know who are that students. But if I perform directly this one, then what is happening? It is selecting 2 times this student. Okay, it is selecting 2 times, but I need the unique one. So anyone please tell me how it is possible? Even I don't know the code for the same. Yesterday night I eventually, you know, there was a one problem statement and I am supposed to give you that problem statement. Okay, so this one is the problem statement, that you are supposed to find out the unique item. If I directly do it, blindly do it, then the repetition can be there, but I don't want this repetition. Anyone from your side? Even I don't know the code for the same. Might be you guys have the best choice for the same. नहीं अभी करके देख लेते हैं. तो I will take your 5 minutes more. I don't know even, because I what we can do, we can take a set. Okay, we are supposed to take a set and why I am going to use the same. Okay, so I took a set. Okay, I took a set. So I am making a loop, that is the while true loop. Okay, so while true loop, if len of s not equals to 5, until what I am supposed to do, rm dot choice of, okay, rm dot choice of choice of L. Okay, and I am supposed to add it over L, else break. Okay, so I don't know it will work fine or not, so let me try. Yeah, it worked fine. Yeah, the code is ready for the. Okay, so I will get the unique values. Now I will get the 5 unique values. Okay, so this one is a way. No. Okay. Yes. So 1 second. Okay, do it, because you are supposed to empty it prior to do the activity. Now you are getting this 69 11 13 5. Why it's giving all the time? One second. Actually हो गया. Yes, s value is not 0. So here, okay, so now it will consider 0 as well. Okay, so okay, let me do it. S dot clear, that's it. Now it will give you every time the unique values. Now you can check. Prior to implement it, you are supposed to perform the clear activity. Now you are get it. Okay, so this one, now the code is ready, because sometimes this problem can be the happen. Okay, so everything is done. Now your assignment is this one. Make a MCQ based application. Okay, you are supposed to make a test for the MCQ. Now understand it, you are supposed to make a data set first. So here I don't have the code for the same. Don't expect the code for the same. 2 days back this problem eventually came inside my mind and I share with you guys. Okay, because same thing I am implementing over my website as well. And what you are supposed to do, you are supposed to make a Excel sheet. Inside your Excel sheet, let's suppose there are 20 questions. Okay, there are 20 questions. Let's suppose there are 20 questions. So here 1, 2, 3 and up to 20. Okay, so here these are the columns. Okay, this one is the question number, and this one is your you can say the question. Okay, and this one is your A option. Okay, and this one your B option, C option, and then your D option. Okay, and then your final answer. Let's suppose there is a question. The question is, what is Python? Here the option A, programming language. Okay, the framework. Okay, or you can say the advanced framework, or you can say something like this. So here the final answer would be A. Okay, let's suppose here int. What is int? Data type. Okay, dictionary, or you can say the set, or you can say the integer. Okay, so here the answer is D, something like this. You are supposed to prepare this data set. Now first what you are supposed to do, you are supposed to pick it out the 15 random question from the entire data set. Okay, 15 random question from the entire, even I don't know which question will be selected, so I show you the little code for the same. Okay, first you can generate something like this. Now the question number, let's suppose if I am supposed to pick it out the 5 question. Now which question I am supposed to pick it out? Second, third, 12, 15 and 16. So that's mean I am supposed to pick it out all these questions. So you are supposed to read from the file the question number 2, question number 3, question number 12, question number 15 and question number 16. That's mean your data set is ready. Your question paper is ready. So these rows that you are supposed to read it out. Okay, and it's again your choice which data type that you are supposed to use to store the entire thing. Okay, to store the entire data. Even I don't have any idea which would be work fine. Okay, so even you can take the dictionary as well. For example, this dictionary, inside this dictionary you can make another dictionary. Okay, and this question can be key, and again here you can contain one more dictionary, and here you can pass the correct answer. Okay, or even you can pass the A option, and then the B option, then the C option, then the D option. Okay, so here because you are supposed to print this data to the user as well, and you are asking the choice from the user. Okay, so this one your problem statement. I give you the simple solution for the one problem statement that you are supposed to picking it out the random value, and I show you how you can check it out the random value. And after that, whenever you get this set, and according to this set, you are supposed to pick the data from these files, and from this file you can convert that data into the dictionary format, and you are supposed to display on the screen this question and the multiple option, and you are supposed to ask the the option from the user. If user enter A and the correct answer is, let's suppose, B, so here these are the wrong option. Okay, so first what you are supposed to do, you are supposed to store the entire answer inside the, you can say the inside the list, or you choice is again your. Even I am not comfortable, I am not sure about it, what exactly a data type will be used, and which data type and which format the data would be served, and which would be the better, because I never did this kind of question. Eventually this problem statement came inside my mind, and that's why I show you this code. And again, it is up to you because I don't have time to create it. You bring something and I will try to edit that. Okay, don't expect from me I will design this concept into a scratch, but yes, I can design it, I am damn sure about it, but I don't have time to do the same. Okay, so I am leaving on you, and this can be your very good project to put out into your resume as well. You made this one. Okay, you can blindly say, okay, I did this thing for the US data technology as well. Even you can mention inside your resume, I don't have any problem, I will give you the certification for the same if you did up to the mark, each and everything up to the mark. Okay, so everything you can implement it over here. You can impart the time over here. Okay, impart the time whenever your data set is ready, the timer will be start working. Okay, and let's suppose the 15 question, 15-minute timer, 20 question, 20-minute timer, 5 question, 5-minute timer. Okay, so timer is there, so you can impart all these things. After that, you can combine it into the exe. Okay, into the exe, and you can set up into your own system where the entire screen will be open, and inside screen every question will be loaded, and after that you are supposed to ask from the user what option is your one, and after that you are calculating it. Okay, you are pass or you are fail, or even you can generate the PDF as well. So I'll show you. Let me, any doubt from this, then I will go back to this point, that point. Any question from this problem statement? I show you the very basic step, what you are supposed to do, how you are supposed to pick it out the random values. And now your question number 2, question number 3, question number 12, question number 15, question number 16 is there. Even the programmer, even the user is don't know what is gonna to be happen. Okay, if you are try to leak my problem, just imagine it. If you try to leak the paper, even you are not sure which question are picking it out. Let's suppose the data set is thousands of questions. Okay, the data set is, let's suppose 500 questions. Okay, even you don't know which question is pick out from the system. Okay, so I think this problem statement is clear to everyone, and I